Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you, all of you. My name is Luka. I'm just graduated from biochemistry, purely science, purely healthcare. I know that maybe I don't know, I shouldn't be here because all of you are geniuses of tech, but I'm coming here today as a CEO and co founder of a health tech company, Docere Health. Basically, the whole idea for the company started after my mom, a doctor for 15 years, one day I remember I was studying for a biology exam and I get a call. I get a call and they tell me that my mom is in hospital. So after a lot of, I was trying to understand what happened. I go immediately to the hospital and I talk to the doctors, and the doctors tell me that your mom suffered from burnout. So my mom, again, 15 years, her own clinic, clinician for a lot of years, family doctor, never suffered from any disease or any kind of sickness in her life. Just at the time that she had this problem, I remember she was doing everything herself: business, tech, patient care, whatever you can think about, she was doing it. So it really made me, humble in a sense, and also understand what's going on with the healthcare systems in Canada, in US, and maybe why not in the whole world. We tend to really basically underestimate doctors because we think, okay, you know what, they make money, they live a good life, so whatever, we don't care, right? But actually, doctors are, they need help all the time. Anyways, a lot of time passed by. My mom retires, 45 years old, very young for a doctor to retire. She closed her clinic. And I did a research with my professors in university, and we found out that actually there are 10,000 doctors that retire every year. It was shocking for me. 10,000 doctors every year. Us as a country, as a small country, we don't have the luxury to lose so many doctors. And not only that, but in US, I went after that and I saw that 75% of doctors would retire if they wanted to. So it really made me understand and really made me go deeper into the healthcare system. So that's why I found my co-founder, Ervis. Ervis has been my co-founder for I've known him for 5 years. We decided to work with each other. He was worked for Apple, Mercedes-Benz in the AI department. I've always been fascinated with AI. A long time ago, I read a lot of books, and I really wanted to understand it. But of course, from a science background, from a research background, my my strength was somewhere else. Was in selling, was in basically understanding what doctors need and how to build it for them. So Ervis joined us. He leaves his job at Mercedes-Benz. He becomes my CTO, my co-founder, and we started training our own model. So basically, what we're doing right now is we are automating a lot of doctors, a lot of clinics, a lot of hospitals workflow, starting from intake forms, going more to the uh, actually like scribe note-taking moment. We build a patient similarity report, which basically uses neuronic algorithms from Google to create kind of the similar to go through the medical databases and draw some conclusions for the doctors. And not only that, but also we go through referral processes. We automate also that for the clinicians, and on top of that, we build the virtual care component, so the telemedicine component of every clinic, of every personal doctor. So that's basically kind of like what we do in a very, very short term. Now we are focusing also on drawing conclusions based on medical imaging and based on lab tests. Lab tests cover around 85% of all decisions that are made in a clinic. So we are really focusing on that and finding a way how to draw better conclusions and how to give some alerts to the doctors just by using blood tests and based on diseases like Alzheimer's or neurodegenerative diseases. This comes again after a lot of research that I did. I worked with with labs and professors in Harvard Medical School. We did a lot of research and we understood a lot of problems, a lot of ways how we can make better also the neurodegenerative disease industry. But going a little bit more broad, I want to talk to you a little bit today, a little bit about the AI in healthcare in general. I don't know. I know that we don't have too much time. It's a very big, very broad understanding and a very broad topic. But just for an idea, it's projected the AI in healthcare. The budget is projected to hit around $178 billion, I believe, in 2027. That was one of the one of the recent like articles that I read. And the funny part about this is that, as you know, AI changes and the new models come up and the new language models come up every month. So we don't know really if even that is a true number of budgeting, because the article was around 4 months ago. So a lot of things have changed from that. So it's changing a lot. It's changing a lot. It's developing a lot, and it gives us a lot of opportunity to see and to look how can we make biotech industry better, healthcare, and how to change the whole healthcare system where we can, for sure, where we can, to make doctors' lives better, but also to make patients' lives better. There are a lot of startups that are in the field. I'm actually also co-writing a book about one of the biggest topics of healthcare and of biology right now, that is the genomic medicine. I'm co-authoring that book with my PI. She was a professor at Cambridge University, amazing scientist. She's looking to win the Nobel Prize relatively. So she's doing some amazing research. And one of the chapters that I was responsible for was the AI in healthcare, and how a lot of companies are turning their lab research, spin out and create companies out of this research. There are a lot of companies in the field. I can mention Babylon Health, Butterfly Network, Tempus. There are also other companies like, I don't know, in silico medicine is a good one. AI Doc, BioXcel Therapeutics. So it's very, very interesting to see how a lot of startups and a lot of companies, but also how much opportunity for other startups is around there, so they can actually do some changes and can develop and revolutionize the healthcare systems. So one of the things that really made me interested in AI was not too far ago. I not too long ago, I was listening to a podcast by Lex Friedman, which he basically invited Harari, that is one of my favorite authors. He wrote the book Homo Sapiens, and he was trying to explain the dangers and the ethics behind AI. And one of the things that he really put an emphasis for, basically, he's a philosopher, he's a historian, he's not really a tech person, but he explained it very good in a philosophical term. We have to understand what means consciousness and what intelligent means, right? A computer is intelligent, but a computer is not conscious. A plant is intelligent, but again, it's not conscious. Why do that? And then that brings a lot of arguments on, even when we go buy grocery, for example, when we buy beef, when we buy chicken, why don't we feel bad about the animal? It's because we didn't really, a lot of psychologists say, we didn't really felt that relationship with these animals, unless, for example, as we do with our own dog, with our own pet, with our own cat, right? It's different. There are two different concepts where we have to be very careful when we understand. AI right now is intelligent. It's for sure intelligent, but and actually Harari goes by and he calls it UFO, basically, because it's like an alien intelligence. It does things very fast and very in a very fascinating way. But the idea is, it's not yet conscious. It doesn't have feelings yet. On the moment that it has feelings, then it becomes a whole another policy legal problem, right? So going back to the AI in healthcare, what I want to say with this is that, again, right now, AI and a lot of opportunities you guys might be looking when you create your own company, and why not? You should. I encourage every one of you to check the opportunities you have there. So the AI, it's not gonna, I don't know, be another doctor. It's not gonna replace the doctor. It cannot replace the nurse yet. but it can be a very, very good assistant to the doctors and to the nurses. In the concept that, example, like with our company, we reduce the administrative tasks and the work that the doctors are doing by 2 hours per day, which is a lot. It's a lot, 2 hours, right? And a lot of the work that they're doing, they can do it also at home. So they can leave the clinic basically. They have more freedom. And that's why our motto of the company is turning doctors into real entrepreneurs, because they are turning into real entrepreneurs. They think as a clinic, not anymore as a place of work, but a place of business, how to grow it, how to make it better, how to make it more innovative, right? So that's one of the pros that AI has. But also, again, going back to the intelligence part, that a lot of studies have shown that AI powered algorithms, I mean, can outperform human experts in diagnosing various medical conditions. One study I remember, it was from University of Pittsburgh, I think. AI achieved a 96% accuracy, surpassing the radiologist's accuracy. So again, if we go back to the point, it's intelligent. It's a tremendous intelligence, but is it conscious? Does it have feelings? Does it create that connection with a patient? That's our questions that we have to ask, maybe in a later term, maybe after 1 year, when the AI gets very, very developed, right? But yeah, I mean, beyond diagnostics, there are a lot of ways that AI can reshape treatment strategies. There are startups like, for example, Path AI that I remember. I met the founder. They're employing AI to assist pathologists in identifying cancerous tissues. There is another company based in San Francisco. I remember the name of it, but I know that they created this thing called Grail, uh, kind of like say basically the holy grail of cancer. They find with just a blood test, a very, very simple blood test, they can find around 40 types of cancers, which is, again, it's an amazing technology. It's done by scientists based on out of Stanford, like geniuses of healthcare, right? And uh, has drawn a lot of attention in the healthcare community. There are a lot of big companies even that are trying to incorporate their own technology, their own foot, to put their foot into the market, to the healthcare market, which is a very lucrative market, of course, which we can mention Google, right? Google just launched one of their like glasses that uses AI exactly for to check to keep in check patients with chronic diseases. Microsoft has done it for a long time, for 20 years. I remember talking about, especially with the Da Vinci surgical system, which helps surgeons with their surgeries. They basically make it more accurate, and it saves a lot of time during surgery. So Microsoft was very interested in that. They spent a lot of money on this company. They spent a lot of money in robotics. So basically, Microsoft has been one of the leaders in big corporations about healthcare. Then we have Amazon. But again, these are cases of big companies that are trying to put their foot in the system. And I always ask, when I talk with my friends from Google, I always ask them, like, why don't you leave it to the young guys? Why don't you leave it to young startups, right? Because that's where the real innovation, I believe, and I'm not being biased here, right? Because I have my own startup, but this is when the whole innovation happens, because we can take risks, right? Uh, One of the other use of AI in healthcare, it's been also through virtual health. We have seen a lot of virtual health assistants, and we try to mimic or to copy that same model for the intake forms when we're trying to build with a group of amazing students, which are from mostly UFT, University of Calgary. Uh, there are a lot of where we're trying to mimic that same system to build a chatbot basically that answers and asks questions to the patients. And what we have seen is a very interesting result based on the first pilots, right? We have seen an amazing result of turning the churn for a clinic that we did pilots in USA went from 10% to around 7% just in 1 month, just because patients really feel better and they feel like their questions were asked before and after the visit, the appointment. Yeah, so I believe AI has a lot of it's a beautiful innovation that happens. It has happened not during again, it boomed during Chat GPT, but it has been there for a long time, especially in healthcare, where there's been a lot of testing happening. But for sure, again, in my opinion, I am also beside my job as a founder, I'm also an angel investor. I invest in a lot of young companies, but I see in a lot of most fascinating startups that I've talked to founders, younger founders than me, even like 17, 16 years old, even though I'm very young, right? But you have these geniuses that are doing amazing stuff. But I see the most successful ones being the ones that don't eliminate the doctors or don't eliminate certain parts of the system, but help them become better, help with the workflow, help with the diagnosis, with whatever you want. But if you want to create your own thing, and I believe one of you that is listening right now will create their own thing because you are very smart individuals, do it in a way to not focus on profits, don't focus in on disrupting the whole system, even though the healthcare system needs a lot of disruption in a smaller scale. Focus a lot in helping the system. Focus a lot. Listen, the whole idea right now, the whole trend in healthcare in health tech, it's mostly around value-based health tech platforms and companies, because we understand that the first one is the doctor, and if the doctor and the system is good, then the patient gets the real value. So health tech, it's all about value. If you can use AI, machine learning, algorithms to make their lives better, then we really achieved something amazing and something